Hello! I heard everyone here, I guess. Said with uncertainty because I wasn't sure I'd ever actually upload this publicly. I'm just here to talk about Vivia from Master Detective Archives Raincode in excruciating detail. I just think Vivia's an interesting character in that he's just filled with contradictions, but I think that they're very purposeful, and I think it's fun to just dig into those and like, why is he this way and why is he not this way and why is he this way and this way, all those little things, and we're just gonna analyze every single scene he's in, everything he's saying, and just dig into this man. We'll speculate things, we'll figure out what some things mean, and then like he talks in a lot of like metaphors and things that aren't clear when you first play the game, so I also think it's fun to just be like, oh, well this makes 100% more sense now that we have the whole game's context and things like that. But we're gonna start with his Gumshoe Gabs. I'm kind of thinking of like going in sort of chronological order for Vivia. Our thought process here is that Vivia will talk about his past here, and then we'll go to the Vivia DLC where we see where he's at before Yuma shows up, and just how his early days in Conor Ward are, and then we will go through the chapters and what he does. So yeah, let's get started by going through his Gabs.
Whew, finally finished a bunch of chores. Maybe I should go make some coffee.
Little sneeze.
Sorry. I had some soot in my nose.
Vivia, you were in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was here the whole time.
Yeah. So yeah, we see right off the bat, Vivia does not make much of a presence. He is always just kind of lurking in the background. He's just keeping to himself in his own space, and it's very easy to just not notice him, ignore him, and bam, surprise sneeze.
You could have at least said you were there. You scared me.
You scared me.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'll start doing that next time.
That's so funny, just like, yeah, I did scare you. I'll make sure to tell you next time. And this kind of tells us, like, how placating Vivia is, sort of, with other people. Like, he does not want to create a disturbance for other people. So Yuma creating this opening, like, I'd appreciate it if you would warn me or tell me that you're here so you don't disturb me. And he's like, okay, if that's what makes you comfortable, I'll make sure to let you know that I am in your vicinity.
I don't mind, so please do.
Please do. And he also, like, introduces as, like, if you don't mind, then I will do this. It's like, well, obviously I don't mind, I just asked you. And he does not want to, like, assert anything.
Yuma, you're too kind. You never mind talking to me.
And then this also, like, shows us Vivia sort of has it in his head that people will mind talking to him. They don't enjoy his presence, so that could also speak to why he keeps himself so shut off and, like, in the background, because he's like, I know that my presence is disconcerting to some people, so I just try to not exist in their eyes. But Yuma, he tries to get to know Vivia and wants to understand him more. And Vivia seeing that is like, oh wow, it's really nice. This guy actually doesn't mind me being the way that I am. Yeah, it makes him happy.
You know, I wonder why he always crawls into cramped spaces like that.
Why does he always crawl into cramped
find it
spaces?
calming,
I'm sure it's
right?
not a fucked up reason at all.
Wouldn't you be better off on a couch or bed?
If comfort level must be quantified in terms of the physical strain on your body, then yes.
I love this line, because it's like, well, yeah, sure, it's not physically comfortable here at all. It hurts my back, giving me scoliosis. But in terms of mental comfort, it's the best solace that he can ever find. It just brings him that mental security and comfort that outweighs the physical discomfort for him, which is fun
But this
to analyze
reminds
anyway.
me of something.
Reminds him.
Reminds you of what?
Well, what do you think?
What?
And then, instead of giving an immediate answer right away, he's like, what do you think this reminds me of? I want to know your
He
answer.
remembers when he's inside the fireplace.
Good memories, bad memories. Memories about firewood. The answer is so funny. I wish we go with that
Could
one.
it be bad memories?
You think I'm in here to purposely remember bad memories?
I mean, knowing what the memory is. But he remembers it fondly. We'll get to that later, though. But just the surprise on his face is so funny. You're like, you think it brings me comfort to remember bad memories and I'm in here because of it? Okay, it's an interesting theory, Yuma, but I'm not sure how that connects together.
Yuma, you think I'm some sort of masochist?
I love him.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I guess that's the wrong answer.
Thanks for going for the wrong answers for me, too.
What does being inside
Just
the
one gamer.
fireplace remind Vivia of? Is it?
It will automatically go to. Oh, good, it does go back. Thanks, friend.
Your memories about firewood?
An interesting response. Do you think I also have psychometry to glimpse the past lives of items?
Referring to Halara here,
Or
of course.
perhaps you're trying to say I was firewood in a previous life?
Just taking Yuma's sort of offhand comment, like, I don't know, fireplace, firewood, to make you think of firewood. And Vivia, he just goes right along with it, like, okay, sure, if I was here because it made me think of firewood, these are the plausible reasons for that, I suppose.
No.
Then Yuma's like,
I guess
maybe
that's
not.
the wrong answer. What does being inside the fireplace remind Vivia of?
What indeed?
Is it a good memory?
Hell yeah, it is.
Yes, that's correct. When I was young, my parents would always discipline me by locking me in the storage room.
Oh, it's so great.
When I'm in here, I can relive those memories.
Alright, so immediately, that's a red flag of like, they just lock you in storage room and that's a good memory. We'll let them talk a bit more about it.
Huh? They don't sound like nice memories if you were locked in there. That seems pretty traumatic to me.
No, those are good memories for me. I have many brothers. We all yearned for our parents' love.
Lots of brothers is a really interesting thing. I really want to know more about Vivia's family dynamic because there's so much interest with that, and they all yearn for their parents' love, and obviously their parents, however many siblings they have, it couldn't split attention among all of them equally, evidently, whether it was purposeful or not. I kind of lean towards they were mostly neglectful out of, like, maybe disinterest, like, oh, we've got so many kids, I can't care enough to give separate attention or anything like that. And so for Vivia, any sort of attention is good attention. Like, oh, they cared enough to discipline me by locking me away in the storage closet. I feel so loved. It speaks a lot to how Vivia acts now. Well, first of all, he purposely goes to these small spaces to kind of relive those memories. It also speaks to how, like, he thinks that his best way to be around people is by being almost non-existent, out of the way. And I feel like a lot of that might have come from how he grew up and how his parents treated him, like sort of treating him like he's a nuisance more than anything else. And he's like, okay, just put him away in this closet here so that he does not bother us. He's not acting right. And so maybe like Vivia takes that. I don't want to cause trouble for people, so I'm just going to be in this dark little corner here, out of sight, out of mind, because that's what I've learned is the best way for myself to be, is just out of the way of people. Don't be asking too much, don't get in their way. Just very sad, and he views it with such a positive lens. And it also sheds light on why Yuma reaching out to him, like, he appreciates that so much, because almost no one probably reaches out to Vivia if they see him off in the corner, or they don't see him and they just let him be, and Yuma actually goes out to try and talk to him, giving him the severely needed attention that he's been neglected for probably most of his life.
So, no matter what shape or form it took, I was happy when my parents paid attention to me.
Just happy to be shoved into a closet. Happy that they cared to do anything.
I know. How about you join me, Yuma?
Aw, yeah.
Once you get...
And that's another interesting thing, is that he wants Yuma to be in his space. He doesn't push him away at all. He was like, hey, if you wanna be in this small little fireplace with me, that'd be chill. I just think that's so cozy.
to the back pain.
Stop writing essays with ChatGPT.
Fantastic.
It's actually not so bad in here.
Not so bad once you get over the physical.
No, I think I'll pass.
Now does Yuma pass because it's too tight and cramped in there, or is it just because of the back pain? That's the question.
Master, you and Vivia seem to have grown closer.
But that was the first gab. Lots of great characterization for Vivia.
I'm starting to get used to being alone with Vivia. Knowing who he is, this silence isn't really so awkward anymore.
It's nice that they found
We
this
don't have to
comfortable
force a
silence with each
conversation
other.
to break the silence, which makes it easier to be around him than the others.
Which is really nice, just being able to find comfort in the presence of another without needing to talk. That's just a comforting thing. And then Vivia
Someday.
just blurting out his usual thing.
Huh? That's awfully sudden.
Just hanging out in silence, doing whatever you're doing, just Vivia wanting to die.
Oh, did I think out loud again?
And it's so present to him that he'll just accidentally blurt it out without even meaning to. It's just always on his mind. I get this sometimes too, where I just mumble things out because it's on my mind and it's just like, fucking shoot me or something. I don't know. I totally get
You
this.
sure did.
Like, yeah, you said that. You okay, buddy?
Sorry about that. Guess I surprised you.
And then here we have, again, Vivia not wanting to cause any trouble. People like, oh, me saying I want to die is very disconcerting to some people. I've startled Yuma with my sudden proclamation. I better make sure to keep this inside.
I'll be careful not to think out loud next time.
Whatever makes you uncomfortable, I'll be sure to
You're free
avoid
to say
it.
what you want, but it sounds really concerning.
And Yuma's like, you don't have to hide it from me.
And I've been wondering, what do you mean by someday?
Someday.
What do you want to know?
Well, all people die eventually. I suppose I'm wondering if you want to die sooner. Saying someday makes it sound like you can't die. Wait, is that what it is? You can't die? That explains why you'd say something so strange.
And this, in the grander scheme of the game, with this conversation of like, are you saying you can't die? It's just interesting, like with the whole homunculus and immortal monster thing. Like, I wonder if this was planted into the game to make us possibly theorize, is Vivia a homunculus? Vivia gives vague answers here about whether or not he can or can't die, but knowing the end of his game, obviously Vivia is human and so should be able to die, but let's keep going to see exactly what he says.
That's a wonderful deduction.
And he appreciates Yuma's deduction, and like, yep, you took what I said, you thought about every little word and what those words possibly mean. I can't fault you for your assumption
guess I'm
there.
wrong, though.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and you know what, actually, that's an interesting thing I just thought about right now. So Yuma's like, I must be wrong about, and Vivia's like, well, I don't know about that. And I wonder if that's because of his forte being spectral projection, that even when he does die, he still will probably live on in a sense because of his ghost form. And like, well, even when I'm dead, I won't be really dead. I'm still going to be lingering around as a consciousness. So I won't really die. So maybe that's what this overall means. We'll see.
Being unable to die sounds like it's straight out of a story.
Or it could also just be Vivia's musings of like, alright, that's an interesting idea. What would that be like?
So romantic.
Him and his love of stories.
What would you do if you gained everlasting life?
What would I do if I lived forever?
Oh, I just remembered where his conversation goes, which is a little fun. See the world 100 years from now.
I'd like to see the future. I want to know what the world would look like 100 years from now.
I see. I've considered that before myself. I'd like to see how the world looks when technology advances further. Just thinking about it excites me.
Rare for Vivia to be excited about something, so he's interested in the development of the world.
Yeah, I can't even picture what that would be like.
This is getting interesting. Anything else?
Enjoying having a fun little thought experiment with
If I had
Yuma.
everlasting life, what would I want to do?
What would he want to do?
I can't think of anything.
Talk to people from all over the
I'd
world.
like to talk to people from all over the world. There's a limit to how many people you can meet in a lifetime. But it'd be a different story if you lived forever.
That sounds wonderful. Although, after a certain number, you begin to notice patterns. So, it'd eventually grow boring.
It's interesting that someone as reclusive as Vivia here's like, I want to talk to people all over the world. It's like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, but eventually you just start talking to the same person over and over again. It's like,
Begin to notice patterns.
you get done with
So,
it.
it'd eventually grow boring. Anything else?
I can't think of anything in particular.
That was quick.
Just love Vivia, like, I expected that to go on, I don't know, at least 10 minutes longer.
Huh? Quick?
There is no end to human greed. Some people think that,
But with Yuma, it
but
has
it's
ended.
not true whatsoever. Everything comes to an end.
Fatalist.
Just like how you couldn't think of anything else you'd want.
I think I just meant I didn't have any good ideas right now.
Like, no, there's
Someday.
more meaning to what you say, Yuma.
Greed will end. Just like you would die before your greed could be satiated.
Everything comes to an end, so it's interesting to have this idea that greed is endless. You'll never get what you want, but if you live on forever, eventually you'll probably lose your desires for something. You'll just keep on getting and getting, and it's like, what more could you possibly need?
Uh-huh.
If you were to live forever, you'd see how tough life can be. It may be fun at the beginning, but eventually, I'm certain you wouldn't desire anything else.
And then thinking about this and how Vivia wants to die someday, maybe that means he knows his desires are finite. Like, he's got some desires right now. He's enjoying reading his books. He's enjoying finding stories and what he's doing at an eternal detective agency. So he's got some desires right now, but his desires won't last long. He's like, man, I'm looking forward to when it just all ends.
And once you were bored of everything, you'd reach the same conclusion all others would.
I wanna die someday.
That you hope to die someday.
You were just like,
The moment you lose
you
a
got-
desire, your final desire for death would be born. It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
why I want to die
Does
someday.
it? But wait. Vivia, by that logic, doesn't your desire to die mean you're immortal?
You're free to think what you want.
Vivia always kind of just allows Yuma to come up with whatever conclusions he wants. He never, like, outright corrects him or clarifies anything. He's like, well, that's what you think. You're allowed to think that. Even with, like, one of the wrong options earlier where Yuma's like, are you thinking of a bad memory? And Vivia's just like, so you think of me as a masochist? He's not like, I'm not a masochist. That's completely wrong. He's like, so that's what you think of me. He never goes out of his way to clarify anything, just letting people come to their own conclusions about him based on what he says.
That's not an answer.
It's enough for today. I need to go back to my world of books.
But yeah, I do think that maybe the whole immortal thing here is probably related to how he is so deeply connected to the spiritual death world already, that even if he does die, it does not feel like his life will be over. I think that might be what this is about,
like this?
perhaps.
I can't tell. I wonder if I'll understand him better someday.
That is the goal. That's
Master,
what
you
we're
and
here
Vivia
for.
Vivia? I was thinking of making some coffee. Would you like some?
Coffee would be nice. But there is a much greater problem.
What could that problem be?
What problem?
The large beast dwelling inside me is roaring louder than ever.
And then, of course, here, this is where Vivia's hungry. He has not eaten in, like, a day or something. And instead of saying that, he's like... He's got to get all poetic about it. He can't just say it outright. I am hungry, please feed me.
No. No human could defeat the beast.
No human can defeat starvation.
What
That's
are you
true.
talking about?
And then Yuma just
It can either grant
lost.
its wish and coexist,
Feeding yourself.
or be
So you can keep
consumed
existing.
by it. Those
Or you just
are
die.
only options now.
Those are our only options now. It's like, I can just sit here and die, or someone can feed me, because I do not feel like doing it myself.
Now, it is about to crush my heart.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, starvation, the first thing that goes is your heart. Your heart just stops or something. I don't know science, but I imagine that's what it is.
For I have ignored its desires.
I've ignored my needs to feed myself. So now I am literally on the brink of death. So yeah, this speaks to Vivia's laziness, his sort of disregard for himself, just basically that. And then also just the way he speaks. He's never clear or straightforward about anything. He's always gotta add flourish to the way he speaks.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I am dying.
Please, help me.
But he does want help. He's reaching out for that help. He's not just letting it... Like, this is the first time, actually, that he's actually pushing towards something, like, please help me, I need help. He won't be clear about it, but he is actually pushing forth his needs onto someone else. Based on a lot of what we see from Vivia, he would say all that, and then he'd be like, it's up to you, Yuma, whether or not you help me, I can just die here, but...
is about to crush his heart because he has ignored its desires for too long.
But here he actually wants to live, so that's another thing. This is one of the contradictions I get to. He wants to die someday, but so often the opportunity for death comes and he kind of pushes back on it, which is why I think his well of desires has not dried out, and also there are certain ways of dying that he definitely does not want to do. Like, I don't think he wants an abrupt death where it just happens to him without his choice. I don't think he definitely doesn't want a painful death, because a later line he has in chapter 4 is how he despises pain immensely. So he doesn't want to go out painfully. And he wants to die someday. That doesn't mean he wants to die now. Has a headache, his back hurts, he's hungry.
You have a headache?
No. Even after all I've said.
And then maybe, even after all I've said, you still don't understand. Maybe this is like almost a test for Yuma. Of like, how well do you understand me as a person? I'm laying out things in a way that I think is pretty obvious. If Yuma can't get it, then, I don't know, maybe we don't have a good connection. What's more likely is that he's like, well, I did everything I could to explain it to him, and he still doesn't understand me, and it sort of like reinforces his belief of like, no one understands me.
You haven't really told me anything.
You didn't tell me. Your back hurt from being in the
Your
chimney.
back hurts?
Why would you think that?
Why would you
I
think
told
that?
you. It's because of the beast within.
Yeah, your spine. This could be hangy, Vivia. Hangry, not hangy, hangry. Usually he's very open-minded to Yuma's interpretations, like he might push back a little bit, like, I don't know where you got that from, but sure, let's explore that a bit. But here he's just like, why would you think that? I told you it's because of this. That doesn't make sense with what you just said. Just feed me.
I still don't get what you're trying to say.
I don't understand you, I'm sorry.
What Vivia's trying to say is... Could it be that you're hungry?
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Yes.
I have to phrase it another way.
And, like, I do think he's not purposely trying to be difficult here. Maybe in his hungry haze, he literally just could not remember the word hungry. And was like, I don't know, there's a beast within me that's, like, really wants something, and I've deprived it of it. Just doing what comes natural to him.
That's it.
I'm like, oh, right, hungry.
You just told me that.
Sorry, I couldn't remember.
I
I'm
haven't
just
eaten
dying.
anything since yesterday. I can't take another step.
Allowing him to get to this state. He's neglectful of himself, probably because his parents didn't take very good care of him, so how is he gonna know how to take care of himself? So he just goes on reading his book for days, and like, oh shit, I did not eat anything, and now I'm at the point that even though I want to eat something, I physically cannot. Please, I need someone to help me.
I would deeply appreciate it if you brought me some bread or something.
Just Vivia dying in the corner here. Just a little bit of bread, please, thank you.
Thank you, Yuma. You saved me.
You saved me.
It's fine, but why didn't you eat anything?
He's very appreciative of people doing things for him.
Not eating for a full day can't be good for your health.
So you want to know why?
You want to know why? Oh, that's
Let's
right, I
take-
completely forgot about. Yeah, this is great. Like, maybe this is him thinking, like, okay, he doesn't understand when I say it like this, so let me try to paint a picture for him, and maybe that will help him understand. Even though that just complicates things further, maybe Vivia just genuinely believes in his head that this is the most easy to understand way that I can put this. He's not, like, trying to be artsy about it or trying to be difficult. He's just doing what he thinks makes sense.
He would want to try climbing a tall mountain range after first seeing it. However, very few would actually put that
No, it never had. So yeah, immediately, when people see a mountain range, how many people would actually want to climb it? They see how big it is, and then they don't want to climb it. So Vivia is equating that to his hunger. I just imagine him looking at the refrigerator after seeing the refrigerator and all this random shit. How many people actually want to put something together to eat? I certainly don't. So I just go back into my little chimney spot and keep on reading like, it's fine. I'm not super hungry right now. I'll do something about it later. And then that later comes and is like, oh fuck, it's too late now. Oh, Vivia.
you understand.
Just him leaning in. Do you understand? Do you get me? You get what I'm laying down?
Not at all.
No. I do, Vivia. I get you.
That's fine.
And then, whatever been explaining on it any further is like, well, I guess if you don't understand, you just don't understand. That's fine. That's okay.
But I do!
I want to understand you, Vivia. The mountains didn't call to them. That's the one that was really funny to me. They lacked confidence. Like, I didn't eat because I lack for confidence. Oh, we're gonna get it right now.
Is it a lack of confidence?
You think I don't eat because of that.
It's just so fun. Like, you generally think that about me? I'm not confident enough to make myself a sandwich. And then again, we see him not fighting against that. He's like, you think that? Okay.
Are you talking about my appearance?
Uh-huh.
I'm not particularly self-conscious about that.
So I guess he's taking that as like, maybe you lack the confidence to go out and get food because you don't want people to see you. And like, well, I don't really mind the way I look. So yeah, he does push back a bit. He'll explain some things, like, I won't say that you're wrong, but I'll explain why it's not right.
People don't climb mountains even if they want to because
Because it didn't call to them. This one's
because
also
the
really
mountain
funny.
didn't call to them.
Huh? What do you even say?
Just even Vivia just being like, I don't even know where you got that conclusion from. I can't draw anything from that answer. What do you mean it didn't call to them? It makes zero sense. It's just so funny to come from Vivia, where the whole thing is like, I don't know what you're saying, Vivia. I cannot understand you. Vivia can't understand us for once.
That's the last thing I wanted to hear from Vivia of all people.
What do you mean calling to them? Mountains don't call.
People don't climb
Food
mountains
doesn't
even if
call.
they want to because it's too much trouble.
Too much trouble.
Well, I suppose you could say that.
He doesn't say it's right, doesn't
You
say it's
felt it was too
wrong.
much trouble, so you didn't eat for a whole day? Could you be lazier? You know, Vivia, do you get theatrical like this on purpose whenever you don't
And then
want
here
to
we
talk
get
about something?
to this great question of like, okay, why are you the way you are?
Do I?
And we see that he doesn't even realize it himself. He's like, do I do that? It genuinely is not something he does on purpose. It's just something that comes naturally to him.
Whenever you don't want to talk about something?
Whenever he doesn't want to talk about something. So taking that, he's not straightforward about him not eating, or the reasons why he's not eating, and he instead gives us this whole metaphor that we have to figure out ourselves. He doesn't want to talk about the reasons why he doesn't eat. It's maybe too personal to him. He doesn't quite understand how to put it into straightforward words. And Yuma's taking just everything about Vivia, like, okay, is he doing this on purpose so that he can avoid talking about things he doesn't like? And he's like, do I do that? I have no idea.
We are all Rosso Ponson.
And then immediately,
It's only once you realize it that you...
let me look up what Rosso Ponson means, because I do not know. It translates to, man is a reed, the weakest in nature, but he is a thinking reed. This guy explores the idea that humans are contradictory beings, and that's interesting because of what I've said about Vivia. He is a very contradictory being. He wants to die, but he doesn't want to die. He wants people to get to know him and come into his space, but he does not want to go into other people's space. He does not want to go out of his way to do things. There's just a lot of like contradictions within him. He argues that humans want happiness, but know they cannot sustain it, and they want truth, but are too distracted to believe. This is actually very relevant to Vivia, because that's another thing. He's interested in truth. In the ending of chapter 3, a line from Vivia that's like, truth is like a shiny pebble. If I stare at it too long, I want it. But he also doesn't want the truth because sometimes that truth is scary and will break things as he knows it. So this is actually very fascinating because this is super relevant to Vivia's overall character. And so what does he say about we are all Rosso Ponson? It's only once you realize it that you, and then he trails off. So is this him kind of realizing from Yuma that like, oh yes, I am a contradictory being. I want people to understand me, but I accidentally make that harder to do because of the way I talk, and that's all unintentional on my part. Something like that. But that's
Doing it again.
and then Yuma just immediately like, this is what I'm talking about, Vivia.
Master,
That was very
Vivia
neat.
seem to have grown even closer.
Vivia just
What are you
chuckling
reading?
to himself. It's so cute.
Why do you ask?
It's rare to hear you laugh, so I was wondering what the book was about.
Yeah, that's hearing a laugh from Vivia in the corner is like, what is he reading?
I see.
What could bring that emotion
So
about
you
from
wish
him?
to learn about the book.
And then Vivia, again, I mean, instead of answering, is like, why do you ask? Why do you want to know what I'm reading about? And he's like, well, why did it evoke that reaction? It's like, okay, so you don't want to know about me, you want to know about what this book is what he took from
You
that.
won't know by the title alone, but the genre is fantastique.
Fantastique.
Fantastique?
It's not a major genre, so there's no need to be ashamed if you haven't heard of it. The definition of fantastique is up for debate, but the ones I prefer to read are the ones with ghosts and demons, stories of mythic worlds that cannot exist within our grasp of the laws.
And then maybe because of a reason he's drawn to these books in particular is because it's very much rooted in his own life experience, and perhaps he wants to see himself in the books that he reads. He wants to feel a connection to something, and he's able to get that feeling of connection through these books that cover ghosts and demons, a world that he is pretty
Nature.
dang familiar with.
That doesn't sound interesting at all.
I guess it's kinda like how people who obsess over music end up listening to stuff regular people can't comprehend.
Well, I can lend it to you if you're interested.
Offering to share his interest. And then here's a fun thing. Is the correct answer, or no, I'll pass. He doesn't want to hear a yes please, because he just immediately sees through, like, I can tell that you don't actually want to. Don't lie to yourself and say that you want to engage in something that you don't actually want to engage in, because that is not what Vivia wants.
Yes, please.
Just like, yeah, sure, I totally want to read that.
You're so kind, Yuma.
And just immediately seeing from him, like, that's really nice of you, but you don't have to force yourself to read something you're
It's
not
all right.
interested in.
I can tell you're not interested at all.
That's not true.
He's like, no, I think it's
Hang
so
on.
cool.
I should tell him directly.
Go ahead and think it over.
Like, well, think it
We
as
have
long as you want.
all the time in the world.
And Vivia's also a very patient person. I think maybe he sees it, probably doesn't see it as a transactional thing, but he probably sees Yuma as being someone that's very patient with him, so he wants to extend that patience back, but also just in general, he's a very patient person. Like, I prefer to just wait and let things go on. He doesn't want to take action. He's not raring to go anywhere. He's perfectly
I should
content
tell
with just sitting here.
I'm sorry. I think I'll pass.
No need to feel bad about it. I figured the odds of you saying no were 99%.
But he asked anyway, just because of a 1% chance that, like, maybe he does actually want to read it.
Besides, this book isn't widely read in the first place.
No one cares about this book
Still,
anyway.
that
You're probably not
surprises me.
going to care about it either.
What does? Me reading the Fantastique?
Well, it's more like I didn't expect a detective to be reading stuff like that. How do I put this? I thought detectives would read more logical stuff.
That stuff doesn't make any
Does it feel weird to read
sense.
something that's not realistic?
It's like realistic to me.
It just makes me feel sick, period.
No. I actually prefer stories where logic can't be used to explain it away.
And then, on top of a reason I say earlier, I think mostly here he says, like, I'm interested in these stories because I like the fantastical element of them where logic can't be used to explain away like logic. Maybe he just finds it boring and prefers more emotional reasonings to things. Let him talk some more.
I see.
If you think that illogical stories feel strange, perhaps you believe all mysteries must be solved.
Oh, and that's an interesting thing for him, because I don't think all mysteries need to be solved. Sometimes just the mystery itself is fun.
I never really thought about it, but maybe you're right. You don't feel the same way, Vivia?
So he likes the open-endedness of there not being a definite logical explanation to things, which does match some of the books that he talks about, with the example of the girl kicking the sandcastle so that they would keep on making sandcastles each day. Like, there's nothing logical there. There's not a clear statement of, like, this is why the girl kept on kicking the sandcastles. Is up to your own interpretation. And then there's also the fantastical element of her becoming a ghost, or being a ghost. Vivia is drawn to those stories because he can come to his own conclusions. There's a lot more to think about. There's not a straight answer. There's no firm conclusion about anything. And logic would get in the way of having a story like that.
I believe some mysteries should never be solved. For example, UFOs and other supernatural phenomena.
If you know what they are, it's not
harbor their
fun.
dreams and fantasies in those mysteries, so shattering them is simply cruel.
And so here it's interesting when we think about his role in Chapter 4 and how he wants Yuma to stop from getting the truth and the solution, because it will shatter the world as they know it, and all the fantasies of, first of all, the Nocturnal Detective Agency, of having this nice, comforting place where everyone is as they present themselves to be. Jocko's not secretly plotting murder. We keep ourselves in this nice fantasy, but also, in terms of Kanai world, we're in this, maybe not comforting place, but, you know, it's nice and chill. We don't know that we're eating humans and that we are actually homunculi. Just this content with living as we are, but we shatter that truth and shows that we are actually kind of a little bit of a fucked up society, but that's okay. We learn to get through that. But just interesting Vivia's perspective on some mysteries are just nice to have as mysteries, because having the truth just ruins those mysteries. It makes them not fun. It ruins the fantasy of it.
Besides?
Memories from our childhood are not all beautiful. However, there is no doubt they are innocent.
And then this is interesting, going to what we know about Vivia's past from a objective point of view, or an outsider's point of view. Seemed very neglectful, a little abusive, does not seem nice. And he's like, memories are not all beautiful. Like, I don't have all these beautiful memories, but they are innocent, and in that innocence is where I find comfort in some sort of happiness. Being locked up in the closet, there's an innocence to that he longs for in some way, because it was simple, because his emotions to it as a kid were innocent. He saw it as them giving him love, so when he looks back on it, he still sees it as his parents giving him attention, and so he felt some sort of love from that. More rambling.
If there's a river of time, its water is horribly murky.
The memories themselves get foggy.
I'm sure it's something he doesn't want to talk about.
Emotions get murky. You can't tell. You can't exactly remember what you felt back then, or maybe you can't see the past with an objective point of view, just your subjective experience of it.
Why would he think that way if he believes not all mysteries should be solved?
And so maybe because of that, he does not want his past to be shattered. Like, I don't want to know the truth of my childhood being kind of shitty. I prefer the mystique of thinking back on it with this lens of innocence, trying to just associate those two ideas together. But overall, Vivia, he likes being able to interpret things, being able to think about the reasonings for things, and not necessarily wanting a hard, fast conclusion of like, this is the only answer, there's nothing else. He likes that state of, it could be anything, and I want to be able to think of that.
Maybe that's where his secret lies. What's wrong, Vivia? Were you reading Fantastique again?
No, it's a mystery this time. I think these are nice once in a while.
Appreciates a good mystery
so
here
you
and
read
there.
those too?
I guess it doesn't fit me.
It is a bit of a cliche for a detective to read mystery novels.
But I do
So
think
you haven't
detectives
read the
should
genre
only
in
be
a
reading
while.
logical
What's
things.
this one about?
Well, I suppose I'd feel comfortable
No,
telling
this is
you.
it. This is the one that every time I've seen it before, it kind of goes over my head. He goes into the story, and it's ambiguous about whether or not this is about him or if this is about the story. This statement here, I suppose I'd feel comfortable about telling you. I wonder if something he read in this book reminded him of something that he had personally gone through, and at this point where he is with his relationship with Yuma, he's like, I suppose I feel comfortable opening up a bit and telling an honest story about myself. Or maybe he is just reading out what he was reading in the story, and it just feels like something personal to him, something that is close to what he's gone through. But we'll see and see how I feel as we go.
What do you mean by that?
The protagonist is an earnest rookie detective. He began his investigation after receiving a request from a certain girl. Her mother died under suspicious circumstances. Who killed the girl's mother, and why? The rookie detective continues his desperate investigation.
If this is Vivia's personal story, he feels more comfortable telling it in the third person. Obviously, he's presenting it to Yuma as a story. It wouldn't make sense for him to say I here, even if he was talking about himself. But it's just interesting to think that he does not feel comfortable talking about himself unless if he presents it as a third-person story. Just interesting to
The truth,
see it that way.
all for the sake of this girl. But the truth that awaits him is cruel. For the girl murdered her own mother.
Oh.
Oh!
Wow, what a twist!
The girl may not have meant any harm, but her actions unintentionally caused her mother's horrible death.
Rip.
It was a tragic accident. The rookie detective didn't know if it was right to solve this mystery.
And then this goes into Vivia's whole thing of not all mysteries should be solved. Some mysteries are better left alone and to just speculate about. And then we also see how this belief comes into action in chapter 4, where he wants to protect Yako and the truth that he believes should be hidden, because it's not a happy ending for anyone if that truth comes out. It's just makes everything worse in his perspective.
What was the point in exposing this cruel truth to the public?
And then if this is about him, this would be where that belief would have spurred from, if this is actually a story about his own life. Like, he earnestly sought the truth for this girl and the death of her mother, and he found this truth that is just horrible, and he doesn't see how it's going to make anything better for anyone. That makes him shy away from the truth in the future. Like, truth's a scary thing, sometimes it's awful, and we're better off not knowing.
Under a standard set of values, one would keep it a secret and remain quiet. There would be no benefit to telling the innocent girl she was the cause of her mother's death. However, the girl wanted that mystery to be solved with all her heart. not knowing she was the culprit all along.
And then, oh, great.
Here, Tuggle.
This kind of goes into, like, one of Yuma's ideals in that he doesn't want to see anyone be hurt because the truth never came to light. And, like, there's just no happy answer for this girl. Keeping the truth from her is just gonna keep her wondering and wondering about what the heck happened to her mother, but then telling her the truth, it could really hurt her. At least by knowing for sure what had happened, she'd be able to find some closure and move on from it. But let's see if the girl ends up being told about what happened or not.
Should we reveal the truth to those who seek it, no matter how cruel it may be?
Should we?
Would you say lies made from kindness are truly kind?
Lies made from kindness are truly kind. Perhaps, is it selfish to keep the truth? Because, like, it will be uncomfortable for me to tell you this truth. So I'm just gonna not tell you. I don't want to have to deal with that outcome.
Dead in the end.
What do you think the rookie detective did?
Or rather, what would you have done, Yuma?
Me?
Tell her.
I think I would have solved the mystery.
I see.
What did the rookie do in the end?
When I solved the mystery.
I think I wouldn't have solved the mystery.
I see.
And I'm really interested in what his answer is for what the rookie did, because I actually do not remember.
What did the rookie do in the end?
I think that would be very telling for Vivia's character,
What would I do?
depending on how
It's
he
a
answers.
difficult question.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I know. It's hard.
From experience.
What did the rookie do in the end?
Well, human cells will always replace one another. The old thing.
And then, of course, he answers in his typical Vivia way, but let's see. So, human cells always replace one another. The old vanishes, and in time, new turns old. So, if we take this, that this is Vivia's own personal story, this doesn't seem right, but I guess I could take it as I am a different person now, so I can't really tell you what I had done in the past. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Or maybe that's his way of saying, like, it's irrelevant past then. Things are changing. We're in the present. I don't know. That's a difficult one for me.
And in time, the new turns old. Considering that, am I the same person?
But yeah, it is about, am I the same person? And like, this seems entirely separate from what we were just talking about. And because of that, because now he's suddenly talking about himself, like, am I the same person then, now, as I was then? So he must be telling a story about himself, I feel like. If all of a sudden he's talking about himself when we were talking about this supposedly unrelated person. I guess he is saying, like, maybe he's disconnected from himself back then. Like, back then he was earnestly trying to find the truth of something, and then when he found that truth, that changed him in a way that he is now, where he is a lot more reluctant to find the truth. So maybe that's all this is that he's just saying, like, I've changed from back then. I'm not gonna give you a clear answer on what he did or not. Like, maybe this tells us that he did tell the girl the truth, because the girl really wanted the truth. She's like, I really want to know what happened to my mom. If you know, I want you to tell me. And Vivia, knowing how he is, we can assume that he yielded to her, and is like, if she really wants to know, she's not gonna let up on this. I can't hide this from her. I should tell her. And so he does. And then maybe based on how that girl reacted, that changed him in how he views the truth and how he no longer is gung-ho about seeking it, because sometimes that truth can just cause irreversible damage and just change things how we know them forever. And so now he is a completely new person that does not want the truth and instead shies away from it. Maybe that's what this whole thing is about for Vivia.
I am
Hopefully that makes sense.
There you go again, trying to muddy the waters. Are you saying I should just read it myself?
Well, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what Vivia's about?
You
We're
told me
trying to
pretty much
figure
the
it
whole
out.
thing, but kept the conclusion a secret.
That's very funny. So again, this all started from him talking about a book. So I wonder if the book made him think about this, or if the book is unrelated, or what if the book is actually just his diary. That would be very funny. If this was just something on his mind and he found an excuse to talk about it. It's just interesting that he decided to share this with Yuma now. But then Yuma's like, was this about you?
Wait, that book's story. Is it about you, Vivia?
Why do you say that?
But, and he looks surprised here. And it's either because, like, not at all, I don't know how you got that, and decides, or he's surprised, like, oh god, Yuma actually figured out that I was talking about myself, and that kind of startles me a bit. I was hoping to get away with just presenting that as a story, and oh no. I gotta play my cool.
It's something you mentioned before. Not all mysteries should be solved.
Not all mysteries should be solved.
Maybe it's your personal experience that led you to believe that.
Yeah.
Your deduction makes sense.
But I'm not sure myself. He doesn't confirm nor deny again. He's like, well, with what I've said, your deduction makes sense, but I'm not sure myself. So, either, again, this is very up to interpretation, but I feel fairly confident now that that must have been a story from Vivia's own past. That just makes the most sense to me, or at least it's something adjacent to his past. Because yeah, that's another thing, is like, this was very familiar to me in what I have experienced. I guess I am comfortable enough telling this to Yuma because it feels very personal to me. If it didn't feel personal to him in some way, I don't see why he would say a line like, I suppose I'm comfortable with telling you this, because that's just what I think. Your deduction makes sense, but I'm not sure myself. So Yuma's conclusion is that because of an experience in your past, that's why you now believe that not all mysteries should be solved, and maybe Vivia's responding to that like, I'm not sure if that is the reason why I don't think all mysteries should be solved. Maybe that's his response there.
Your deduction makes sense, but I'm not sure myself.
But he also is just
Please
vague
don't
about
dodge the
whether or not
subject.
that story is
But
about
I
him.
told you, didn't I? I don't think all mysteries should be solved.
And that's like, yeah, not all mysteries should be solved, including myself. I will not be 100%
Whether the story
straightforward
I
with you.
told you now is from a book or my life, it doesn't change a thing.
Because either way, it's something personal to him, or either way, it's something that's relevant to him, or let's see how he ends
Anyway,
this.
I'm off to explore another
Off
world
to read more
inside
books.
a book.
As he does.
So, which is it? If that's what Vivia's been through, why tell me about it? Maybe in his own way, he wants me to understand him.
I definitely think that's a huge part of it. He wants to be understood.
It would be nice if it's true. Maybe
Vivia's
this
so
is
cute.
an unsolvable mystery.
But I'm gonna solve it.
Forge the ultimate bond together.
Alright, and that is the end of the Gabs with Vivia. We are going to go through his DLC chapter and see where he's at before the events of Raincode. There's so many juicy Vivia characteristics here that will be very fun to dig into.
Death is always awaiting me upon my path.
He sees ghosts everywhere.
White trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet.
So yeah, just death is always around him in the form of ghosts, and maybe also literally as a detective he finds a lot of death. Just death, always there.
Even if I manage to overcome them and make progress down that path, when I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there.
Cruel truth. And then, again, truth is a big thing for Vivia's just overall character arc. Truth being something that he fears and doesn't want to face because he views it as a cruel thing that does not help anyone to know, at least most of the time.
Or a procession to my own funeral.
The shadows are a procession to my own funeral. Let me look up what procession means real quick to see if I can glean anything interesting from that. Alright, a number of people or vehicles moving forward in an orderly fashion, especially as part of a ceremony or festival. And then we will get lines that I'm just stumped on, because my brain can only go so far with some of the things Vivia says. So, I don't know. Talk about in the comments what you think it is if I share this to the public.
The shadows are a procession to my own funeral. To live means to continuously die. Every human
is nothing but a walking corpse. Maybe viewing change as a death, because that's another thing that he's kind of scared of, is change. He does not want the truth to be revealed because of the great change that will bring. It'll cause an end, a death to what he knows. So maybe to live means to continuously die. Is to live, you are constantly changing, so your old self is always dying? Something like that, perhaps.
It's nothing but a walking corpse. And so, I too am dying in this moment.
Always just thinking about death. The near-death detective. Vivia's just
It doesn't seem to be moving
elevator
at all. And the management company isn't responding either.
with your girl.
I guess we just have to wait.
And then
If
Vivia,
we wait long enough,
always
everything
with
will come to
the excessive amount of patience he has. He's like, well, this isn't gonna last forever. It's fine. I'm chill with just hanging out here.
an end. Just as there is rain unceasing, a day will come when the sun doesn't rise. When the
So that's funny. Yako, I remember, says, fatalists will say that everything must come to an end, but yet the rain here never stops. And then Vivia, he also believes that, well, everything's gotta come to a stop at some point. And he here is saying, like, well, eventually the sun's gonna not rise and oceans will dry up. The rain here is just gonna keep on going. It's just strange because, like, by that logic, the rain's gotta stop ceasing at some point as well. The contradictions at play.
oceans dry up too. One day, you will die, and so will
Just such a fun person to be stuck in an elevator
Is
with.
that supposed to be a joke? How can you talk about death in this situation?
Like, what on earth are you talking about? This is not the time.
I'm not enjoying this situation enough to make light jokes about it.
So he's not chill with the fact that they're stuck in an elevator with, like, well, it's happening. There's not much I can do about it, so I'm content with just chilling here and talking. But I'm not happy about it.
I think I'd find things a bit more enjoyable if I wasn't trapped in here with you.
How dare.
I apologize if I've offended you.
And then, yeah, this is, as we were talking about in the Gumshoe Gabs, Vivia is very earnest about not wanting to offend people, not wanting to cause trouble. I want to avoid conflict. I hate fights. I don't want any of that. And if my speaking is offending you, then I will stop.
I wish to avoid all unnecessary fights.
Same goes for me. Sorry I raised my voice. I'm not used to situations like this.
Nor am I. We found something we agree on.
So we learned from Vivia that he is not often stuck in elevators with another person. That's good knowledge to have.
Aren't you afraid?
Afraid?
Afraid.
Of all this? We're stuck in an elevator, hanging in midair.
Eh.
What if something happens and we fall to our deaths?
Like, well, that's fine.
I don't think I'm afraid.
And the way he says that is very interesting. I don't think I'm afraid. Like, he doesn't know how being afraid would feel. We get a lot of Vivia not being aware of his emotions. Like, he views himself as an empty person. He has never felt happiness or sadness. But maybe he has and just doesn't know what that feels like. Or at the very least, baseline, he's often feeling very little. So it's just interesting to have that. I don't think I'm afraid. I mean, I guess I could be.
I don't think I'm afraid.
But this isn't what I imagine fear to feel like.
And we're trapped here forever.
Nothing lasts
Then it'll
forever.
be like a coffin.
Instead of just shooting it down, he's like, well, it's a coffin, man. And I guess I'm chill with that. Just very content with the idea of like, okay, if this really is gonna last forever and this is the end, well, it is like a coffin in here. I could sleep in here until I die. This isn't the worst way to go. Well, I imagine it would be painful if you have to starve and dehydrate here to death, but I mean, with his forte, he can sleep, his spirit can be out, and he can just wait for his body to expire on its own. And then also, with the twist here, he is actually in a spirit form right now, so there's no stakes in here at all for him, because his physical body isn't even here. It's just laying out in the alleyway. Miracle, nothing happened to him.
What's with you and your death wish?
It's not like I intended to have one.
And
It's hard to describe. Thinking of death is like
breathing to me. And this is very interesting of like, well, it's not like I want to die. It's just something that's always on my mind. It's natural as breathing to think about death because of his forte and his ability to just see the supernatural and ghosts and stuff. Having grown up around death is going to be very present to him, and he's just going to naturally think about like, what would it be like to die? Oh, dying would be the worst thing in the world. I'm very used to it by now. And so he'll just naturally say things like, I want to die someday, not thinking about how disconcerting that can be to some people, because to him, it's like, it's just another topic like reading a book or eating food. It's a completely natural thing. It's going to happen to all of us. Why not talk about it?
Do you find it fun to live like that?
Isn't that what life is all about?
Having fun.
There are things that I find fun. For some reason, I feel more alive when I can invest in a story's protagonist.
He enjoys stories more than he enjoys what he goes through in his own life. He likes that escapism of delving into a completely fresh story, just investing in the characters within that, maybe to find something entirely different from his own life experience, or maybe he does find some sort of connection in there with the characters. Whatever he finds in the stories, he likes it more than what he does in his own life.
I also love gazing at the beauty found in nature. Seeing plants sway in the breeze brings joy to my heart.
And that's a fun little thing, that he really likes nature. He's not some shut-in hikikomori. He likes touching grass. Isn't that rare?
You sure are a strange one.
Am I?
Is it so
What
strange?
about you? What makes you happy?
Well, I suppose I like to observe life.
Observe life.
I used to be a nurse. I've seen many lives saved and lost at the hospital. Life should be more precious than diamonds, but some people are treated more poorly than a pebble on the road.
And then knowing how Rio thinks about this, and her whole thing of like, I'm trying to keep people from killing themselves up here, because I don't like people just throwing their lives away, and like thinking about how that relates to Vivia and how his wish to die is an affront to her beliefs. Like,
Isn't
why
that
would you
strange?
want to die?
A life
You
is a
should
life. So why should
value
its value
it.
be
Value
different
the life
depending
you
on the
have.
person? So now, whenever I look at people, I watch their lives. I wonder how valuable each life may be.
You're also kind of strange.
Am I?
Speaking of which, I didn't catch your name. I'm Vivia. Who are you?
I'm Rio.
Rio. I think we may have met before. Do you remember?
Out on the streets. His book catalog, novels, columns, essays, all sorts of things. He will read anything with words. And we skip through time a bit. In the chimney, as Vivia does. Because of the happy memories associated with it.
Hey, Vivia. Everyone else is out on a job. How long are you gonna stay there?
Until
I die. And then we just see Vivia's reluctance to go out and do anything without purpose. Like, he is not just gonna go out there and find something to do. He's like, well, I've got something to do right here. I'm reading my book. Why do I want to go out and just search for something when I don't really have a precise goal in mind for what I want to do?
You gotta be kidding me. Do I have to pull the pieces of you out of there once you're a skeleton? If you have free time, why don't you help work on some unsolved cases?
Chief, do I look like I have a lot of free time to you?
Yes.
You look like you're so bored you could die.
So bored you could die. And then taking that and what we learned about the Gumshoe Gabs and how once you lose a desire for anything else, you grow bored of everything else. The only desire you have left is to die. So right now, has Vivia lost most of his desires at this point and is closer to wanting to die?
Look, just hear me out as a way to kill time. There have been a series of suspicious deaths lately. People jumping to their demise from a certain building. The first one was over 5 years ago, and people have been periodically jumping ever since. There's been over 10 confirmed cases.
What's suspicious about that?
People just want to
They came
die.
across a building to jump off of when they happened to feel like dying. That's probably all there is to it.
That's what would happen to me.
That could be true for 1 or 2 cases, but over 10 times in the same spot? That's unusual, no matter how you look at it.
Are you suggesting someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes?
We won't know until it's investigated. It'd be an absolute nightmare if someone is getting their kicks killing people and making it look like suicide. For the sake of the town's safety, it's not something we can ignore. That's where we come in.
There's no point in investigating it. All we will find is boring reality.
And then this is interesting. Vivia shows no interest in it initially, but we know that he's going to go investigate. So
No matter how
what
boring
about
it
it brings his interest?
There's value in finding it.
Detectives are such troublesome creatures.
Aren't you one too?
This is my favorite reaction of like, I am a detective? Fuck, I didn't realize. But this brings up interesting things about why is Vivia a part of the World Detective Organization if he's so averse to finding the truth? We know that he likes the story in things. He is interested in mysteries because of the story it can bring, of the speculations, of the possibilities, but he does not like the conclusion. He does not want that truth. It's just troublesome to him. Why the heck is he at the World Detective Organization where they're saying is like, we must solve all mysteries? Did he just happen to fall into it? I don't know. How did someone as kind of lazy and almost apathetic as Vivia get into this spot at all. And then for him to be sent to Conai Ward and for him to actually go along with it, there must have been, like, maybe he heard about the rumors of a city that's always covered in rain. And, like, that sounds very fantastical in story. Like, I'm intrigued to know about this town, so sure, I will go and put my life on the line. I don't care if I die. And he gets there. He survives when dozens of master detectives got killed getting there. I'm very curious about how the rest of the detectives got here and what went on there, but whatever. So I can see him being intrigued by Conai Ward, just hearing that it's a city of infinite rain. But where does it all start? We know from the Gumshoe Gab that potentially, like, he was interested in finding the truth until he did find the truth, and then it was horrible, sort of turning him off of that. So could he have been a part of the WDO at that point in his life? I can see that. That would make some sense if he used to be more interested in finding the truth, but then that one part of his past kind of turned him off of it. But it's, again, it's just such a funny reaction here of, like, you know you're a detective too, like, what? I thought I quit, like, a year ago.
Don't surprised. Why'd you come here if you're no detective?
Why'd you come here?
Aren't you here to solve mysterious crimes and help those who are lost?
I'm here for peace and quiet, man. But something here makes him decide to go out.
He asked me why I came to this town. I don't understand it myself.
Yeah, this is something that not even he really knows why he decided to come here. Just like, well, I've got nothing better to do, I guess.
Actively searching for a place to die just yet.
Not actively searching for a place to die.
I'm not here to be a detective searching for the truth.
Nope.
It's nothing so pure or sincere.
So maybe he's just reasoning out, like, I don't know why I decided to come here, so let's figure out why I'm not here. Like, well, I'm not here to die. I'm not quite ready for a place to die just yet. I've still got some desires I'd like to carry out. And he's not here to solve mysteries and search for the truth, because that's just not how he is. So if he's not here for those reasons, what is the reason? Impatience with living. And that's an interesting thing. I've talked about before how Vivia seems to have an abundance of patience, but he has an impatience with living that made him decide to come to Conai Ward. Delving into what that would mean, impatience with living. He wants his life to come to an end sooner than others. He might have these little desires of, like, seeing nature, reading books, but he does not have any active goal, and that's leaving him impatient with his life and, like, the only ultimate goal I have right now is to die. So just this in-between part of me living and then eventually going to death, this part right here is just very uninteresting, and I am just done with it. And so he came to this town hoping for some sort of change that would make the in-between part of living and death a bit more bearable, give him something to do, even if he's not sure what that something, what he would want that something to be.
What did I seek by coming here?
What did he seek?
What do I expect from this place?
What indeed? And so he walks out just ruminating on that. If I'm not here for this or this or this, what am I here for? What did I actually expect to get from coming here? And then he sees Rio walking out. And I think what comes to attract Vivia to this mystery is Rio. He grows interested in Rio and Rio's story. He's not interested in the conclusion about this mystery at all. He does not care about where this is going to go, but he's interested in Rio and wants to learn about her. And that's ultimately what leads him to figuring out this mystery, which is very in line with, yeah, he sees, I imagine the car just goes right through her.
Was a woman in a
like,
red
it's very,
raincoat.
it's purposely shot to make us confused and be like, what the heck just, oh, I guess the car didn't hit her, but it probably did just go right through her. And then Vivia realized, like, oh, that's not an actual person, that is a ghost.
Reminds me, the chief did mention something. Around the building where the suicides occur, a suspicious woman in a red raincoat has often been spotted. I'm not interested in the truth.
Not at all.
But I am interested in her.
Precisely.
I should try to tag along behind her without being spotted.
So yeah, as we know about Vivia, he is in it for the story. I love his lazy Naruto run. That is my favorite thing. Long live Amaterasu! I just want to watch how just Vivia standing in the corner with the trash cans. This very canonical for him. Yeah. What was I saying for? Oh yeah, but basically we know that Vivia is interested in a story above all else. In fiction, in real life. He is just in it to learn about people, characters, and get invested in their story. So it's just interesting to see how Vivia approaches detective work. And that he's not in it for any clear goal other than to get a story. She's over there. Whee! I also just love seeing Vivia moving around. He's sneaky. He's not worried about being a little risky. He's like, I know I find jumping off this ledge. It's all good. Whee! That was a very funny way of walking.
I see. This is the perfect building for dying.
I just see death radiating from it, and yeah, it's hard to ignore that pole. And now at this point, we are Ghost Vivia.
Before? Are you sure about that? I don't remember you at all. Are you sure it was me you met?
No, I was just following you.
There's no mistake. You have that smell.
Smell?
Smelling you all
You
up.
smell faintly of death.
Because she herself is dead, but we take to mean at this moment
By
that
that.
she is responsible for the suicides happening
That's
here.
rather rude.
That's rude.
Do you live in this building?
Yes. Why?
This building is non-functional.
From what I've heard, there hasn't been anyone living in this building for a long time.
Who said that? Oh, was it the people around here? They probably have a grudge against this place. They say the building blocks the sun, or that it's sinking into the bedrock.
What about all the people who have fallen to their deaths from this place? Is that nothing but a groundless rumor, too?
I love his face.
Of course it is.
But it isn't. It's fact. Even the newspapers have articles about it. If you live here,
Nope, more ad.
then you must have heard about it. Many unsolved cases in the city have been completely left alone. Of course, this has nothing to do with me. I have no interest or
It's like, if
desire
you are killing these people, I don't care. I'm just
to know
curious.
the truth. However, I am somewhat interested in you.
Are you hitting on me?
I suppose you could take it that way.
And I suppose it's very funny. Again, Vivia never saying yes or no. It's like, well, you take it that way if you see it that way. What interests Vivia about Rio is interesting to think about. I wonder if he senses some similarity between himself and her, because we know that Rio ended her own life. She had suicidal ideations like Vivia does. Maybe he sees some sort of connection to her, or maybe he just senses a good story from her. And I just love how so romantic way that this can be taken. And like, are you hitting on me? Like, maybe. I won't say no.
I see. To be honest, I'm interested in you too.
And so we kiss.
Although it's more that your life force makes me curious. It's... how do I put this? faint.
And then it's likely faint because he is a ghost in this moment. He is in a spirit form, but this can also taken as he's not attached to his life, and that's why his life force is faint. Because Rio sees so many people looking to die, and she also sees this in Vivia.
Thinner than paper. Almost as though I can see death waiting on the other side.
I could say the same about you.
Because you are also a ghost. And also suicidal.
This is a hassle. I guess I'll get to the point. Who killed them? Didn't you?
And then I'm not sure if Vivia actually believes this at this point, if he's just trying to get a rise out of her or just get more answers, or if he's generally just asking like, I'm gonna ask Kat and see how she reacts to this to see whether if I can glean the truth or not.
I did it?
Not that I'm interested in that. I'm just
You lured
curious.
people from the city here and pushed them off the building, making it appear like suicide. Why did you kill them? There's no benefit in it for you. For fun? You wanted to see them die? Or did you develop a special interest in the value of people's lives? If so, that makes you a serial killer.
That's kind of hot.
Me? A killer? Well then, I guess that means you're trapped inside an elevator with a killer.
Strangely, I found myself in situations like this often. Whether I want it or not, death finds its way to me.
You're not afraid?
Afraid? No. It's more like...
He's a bit more confident this time. He's like, are you afraid of being trapped in an elevator? And like, I don't know. And now she asks, are you afraid in the context of being around death? You're being around a suspected killer. Are you afraid of that?
Observing from a great distance as dark clouds slowly spread out over the ocean.
And to that he says, not really, I feel kind of detached from this situation. Because first of all, his physical body is not here. He's here in a spirit form, so he's not afraid of being harmed in this instance. But also, emotionally, he might be detached. Like, I'm just looking out at these dark and dangerous clouds, but I'm not anywhere near that mess. So I don't have to feel afraid of it.
I don't quite get it, but it doesn't sound joyful to me. Though, you were like this from the very beginning. Truth be told, I can tell when someone has a death wish. I sense their desire to go to the other side. Yes, you remind me of them.
The other side. Did all those you lured here feel the same way?
Lord, you're mistaken. I didn't do anything myself. I was just here. People like you happen to show up here. Then they depart to the other side on their own.
You really want to insist that you weren't involved? That all those who died came here of their own accord?
That's right. Aren't you the same way?
Me? Perhaps.
Perhaps. On the roof of Yaakov!
I want to die someday. And perhaps this is a fitting place for it.
Perhaps.
The view here is nice, don't you think?
So I imagine this is the first day that Vivia got here. He came here because of his impatience with life. He didn't come here looking for a place to die, but he's here now and he's like, this could be a place to die, I don't know. But I do think at this point, he's in a bit more suicidal than he is in the main game. I do think that I get that overall vibe from him. And because of that, that's why Yaakov comes to mean so much for him, because Yaakov provides something for him that makes him less eager to die.
The journey here wasn't easy, but things are just getting started. Vivia, let's save Kanai Ward. Together.
Nah.
That's not why I came to this city.
Right. I'm counting on you then. Wait, what did you say?
Like, what?
Did I mishear you?
I don't care what happens to Kanai Ward. And I have no intention to obey orders from the WDO either. I just want some peace and quiet. A calming place where time will gently pass by.
We hear this from Vivia all the time, but peace and quiet is all that he wants. And that's kind of why he longs for death so much, because death will, you would think, bring some peace and quiet. A calming place where time will gently pass by. As much as Kanai Ward, from what we see in the main game, we know that it's not a very peaceful place, but it is a place with never-ending rain where things don't seem to change. I can definitely see how he was drawn to come here if he heard any sort of rumors. He's like, I'm not interested in following WD orders, but I do kind of want to see what the city's all about. Will I find a place to die? Will I find interesting stories? Only one way to find out, and that's by being here.
What are you talking about? You're not gonna find that here.
But then Yako, of course, living here, going through it, knowing what it's like peace and quiet. This is the last place you'll find that.
The place you can find perfect peace is heaven.
I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna die.
And the only ones who can reach it are the dead. Wait, don't tell me you...
Just leave me alone.
And this is interesting. We see from Vivia a lot how he appreciates people coming to him. Like with Yuma, he really appreciates Yuma going out of his way to talk to him. But here we see him saying, just leave me alone. I don't want to go into it. I don't feel like having this conversation. When Yako's like, are you interested in dying? Do you want to talk about that? And Vivia's like, no, I do not. And that's why I definitely think that Vivia's desire to die at this moment is a lot stronger than it is in the main game. He's just more closed off here. He does not want to talk about himself, doesn't want to talk about what he's going through. Also in the mindset that no one's going to understand him. Like, I don't think anyone has tried to understand Vivia up till this point. Yako, no doubt, wants to understand Vivia, wants to reach out to him, but Vivia, never having had someone like that, just knowing what his past is like, and for the first time, someone is trying to understand him, but it's just so closed off. He does not want to deal with that. He does not think that is an actual possibility. He just wants to be left alone. He wants to find his own peace and quiet. He doesn't want to follow other people's orders. He doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to do his own thing.
I can't do that. We need your help. Hey!
And Vivia just walks away. He doesn't hear Yako being like, I want to know more about you. He hears Yako saying, we need you to help us. And he's like, I'm not really here to do that. I don't care about any of this. I'm just here to do my own thing. And I don't want that to be interrupted. Just a lot of things that you can glean from that. Whether anything I say is relevant or not, it's fun to yammer on about it.
I've always been able to see the dead, and what they tell me is always true.
Now this is interesting. The truth is exhausting for me as long as I can remember. So we see another reason for why Vivia dislikes the truth. I imagine that these ghosts are just trauma dumping on him, just telling him the worst things, like, I've been murdered by my parents, I don't know, but they're trauma dumping on him, and he's just hearing these horrible truths, and he's like, gosh, I'm so tired of the truth. It sucks. And you gotta think that he's had a connection with the spiritual world for, like, all of his life, and you gotta think about how that affects him when he interacts with the real world. Just thinking about his family and how his parents would discipline him by locking him away in a closet. Like, I just wonder how Vivia acted with these ghosts. Just how did he interact with the ghosts, interact with the real world, and if those things coincided at all? Like, it's just curious if he had any sort of fits with that, or if he would just say odd things that people didn't understand, and his parents not wanting to deal with it. It's just like, I don't know why the heck you're talking about dead grandma being here or something, and you're just weirding us out. Go into the closet. Just stop talking about this weird shit. Like, this is very speculatory, but it's just an interesting thing to think about. And the truth that these ghosts are talking to him about are just so exhausting. Again, goes into why he shies away from the truth when the truth seems like it's gonna be at all difficult or troublesome, potentially shattering.
Truth has been exhausting for me for as long as I can remember. Even when I cover my eyes and ears.
And just how upsetting that must be. A little child that's just cannot get away from these spiritual beings that are moaning and crying about whatever has happened in their real life. Like, I can't get away from it. I close my eyes, I cover my ears, and they're just always there. This is very, very fan fiction-y, but I do imagine, like, he potentially had fits as a kid, maybe little freak-outs because of how distressing it must have been, and his parents are just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with our weird little child. Put him in the closet, put him away. And he takes that as, alright, I cannot be reacting to the spiritual world because not wanting to cause trouble for people, I have to keep this to myself. We hardly get any sense throughout Raincoat that he saw ghosts to this sort of degree, so either he's keeping it to himself or he did find the peace and quiet in the nice little chimney, and I do see that as, like, because he's in this closed off space, that he is able to separate himself from the spiritual world a bit and finally able to have this peace and quiet. But we see why he wants that peace and quiet, because just constantly ghosts just telling him these horrible truths that he did not ask for. It's just so loaded.
Just continue to whisper it to me. Please. Be quiet. No matter how much I beg for it, the calm will never come.
And so I would
Where's
not
the
mind
perfect
death.
Peace?
He just wants peace, man.
It's found in death.
It's very interesting that he comes to that conclusion, like being surrounded by death, because the ghosts he's been around have probably not all been very peaceful, but he still thinks that, well, death's gotta be more peaceful than this. There's gotta be an end. Everything comes to an end, and I can only see that ending with death. We finally get to understand why he has this yearning for death, because he's just so tired, man. Tired of all these horrible truths, tired of the constant noise, the constant presence of beings. Just, he wants peace and quiet. He wants to be alone. He just wants things to stop.
Ah, there's the look. Everyone who steps into this elevator has the same look in their eyes. They want to escape reality as soon as possible. They don't care where they end up, as long as they can get away.
Wish for death.
This elevator
Wish for
will take you
things
to
to
your
end.
desired exit. The path to the other side.
And it's your job to see them off. You've seen so many on their way from here. It's like you are the guide to the afterlife.
So what if I am? Aren't you similar?
Perhaps that may be true. It moved.
Life is like this elevator. Once it moves, it will not stop.
We want it to stop.
I can hear them.
Hey, Vivia! Where are you?
And then darling Yako.
Where are you?
What matters right now is that Yako's
That
looking for Viv.
voice.
Do you recognize it?
No.
No.
If you have any attachments in this world, I suggest you don't depart.
Attachments. If that's the case, why did you go to the other side?
And
Huh?
Vivia, I imagine he had no attachments until he came to the Nocturnal Detective Agency. His only attachments were with books until this point. And he then immediately just goes to turn the question on her rather than ruminating it on it too much himself. He wants more of her story.
The first of those who died was a woman wearing a red raincoat. Her name was Rio. It was written in a newspaper
Her
article.
name was Rio.
Why do you still ride this elevator, even after death? Isn't it because you're still attached to this world?
And then this is really fun. Once we get that, the world starts to gray out. And we get later how Vivia says, the world of the living and the world of death are simultaneous for me, so I can't differentiate them very much. So it's just so interesting to see that visually, how this seems like real life. We seem like we're all living here, but in reality, she's a ghost. Vivia's in ghost form. So it's just so interesting to see how difficult is it for Vivia to differentiate between the living and the dead. Does he know what is living and what's dead? Or does it take him a second to realize, like, oh, you aren't real, you are a dead person, you're not living right now? Or does he just know that implicitly and, like, it makes little difference to him either way, whether we're living or dead? I don't know, that's just an interesting thing to think about.
You don't seem like an ordinary human.
I'm a regular detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side.
He's got
I see.
on the other side.
Still,
And then we see her ghost.
You knew I was already dead.
I told you in the beginning, and you smelled of death.
You did.
So yeah, I take it as, like, he implicitly knows what is living and what is dead, but it makes little difference to him. He can interact with it the same as he can a living thing, so there's essentially no difference. But he implicitly knows.
You're responsible for stopping this elevator, using some spiritual power, or whatever.
Or whatever it is.
You haven't been guiding the suicidal to the roof of this building. You've been stopping the elevator in an attempt to make them reconsider.
So yeah, I do think that this is what Vivia perhaps believed in the beginning. The way he says it now makes me believe that this isn't him just finding it out now, but him, like, this is what I've assumed from the start, and what I said before was just me presenting a possibility, presenting a story and seeing what your reaction to it was. Or maybe he is drawing this conclusion based on what he asked her before, and like, that doesn't sound quite right to me. Maybe this is more it. But just the way he says it makes it sound like this is what he's always kind of figured.
You sure are a mean one.
Yeah.
You knew all along.
Did you try to save them?
Yes. As I'm sure you know, I haven't been able to stop a single one. More than 10. And I've watched all of them go. That's why I think it's my fault. Because I chose this place for my own death, it's become rather famous for suicides. I was just tired of living. I wanted to go somewhere far away from this place.
But you regret it.
Yes. That's why I always stop the elevator whenever someone comes here, so I can speak to them. But I've never been able to convince them otherwise. All I've done is provide some time to think things over. Everyone who comes here has claimed none would be saddened by their deaths. I've never been able to get them to recant those words.
That should be expected. After all, it is the truth. Everyone must overcome the death of others to keep on living. No one can remain in place and look back every time.
And so Vivia obviously views it, of course, no one would be sad by her death. They have to move on. They can't just keep on wallowing about it. I definitely think that Vivia sees himself in the same place, like, well, I don't think anyone would be upset by my passing, because that's kind of the way he lives, is by being out of the way of other people, not wanting to inconvenience them, not wanting to trouble anyone, so he keeps to himself. And because of that, he sees himself as very solitary in his own world. If I were to die, it would not impact anyone.
Is that so? here on, I can do nothing to stop this. Please listen. Even if you get to the roof, don't step out onto the floor.
Why?
Because they will try to take you. As long as you don't listen to them, you'll be able to shake it off. That's because you're here to investigate what happened, not for your own death.
Right?
I don't know about that. The moment I got on the elevator, I think I made up my mind.
And this is interesting. Based on the fact that he came here in a spectral form, did he make up his mind that he came here to investigate? But then it seems odd that when she says you came here to investigate and not to die, that he says, I don't know. But this could also just be to mislead the audience into thinking that he came here to die. But I wonder, as he was coming here, whether he was making a choice of like, well, do I want to die here or am I here to investigate? And then him coming in his spectral form is his choice to come here to investigate, and that's where he made up his mind. And the way that this is structured is mostly just to mislead us into thinking that he came here with his mind made up to die, because everything leading to this point would make us believe that. But let me see what else it says.
You must be determined to survive. Otherwise they will take you.
Either that, or maybe he made up his mind to see if his soul would be taken. I don't know.
Life and death. I failed to see the border between the two.
And that's the line I really remembered in terms of thinking about whether or not he could differentiate the living and the dead. He fails to see the border between the two anymore. So at once it was pretty clear cut, but now it's just getting murkier and murkier. It's like, it's all just kind of the same to me. And I just love the way we visually see that, everything being clear before, but now it's getting washed out as we realize, like, oh, you're just all spirits. None of us are physically here.
They both overlap. I can no longer tell which one is the real me.
Which one is the real me? So I wonder, it feels weird that he would forget that he's in spectral. I do see him like minorly forgetting, like, oh, that's right, I'm in spectral form right now. But in this case, it's kind of hard to imagine because he literally went to sleep in an alleyway and then came here in a spectral form. But the moment where she asked, oh, you're here to investigate and not to die, did he kind of forget in that moment that he's in spectral form? And is thinking like, well, I don't know, I might still be here to die. And he can't tell which one is the real me, his spectral form or his living body. It's just such interesting characterization.
Then please, think of the people you will leave behind. You must have some in your life. Are you really going to depart without saying farewell to them? There must be someone you'll regret not saying goodbye to.
If I had someone like that, I wouldn't be here.
You will though, Vivia. Yako will be there. But yeah, it kind of confirms that Vivia had no one. No one would reach out to him. No one is able to understand him. He does not view anyone else as being someone that would be saddened by his absence at all. But Yako will prove him wrong. Let's
I
keep going.
have no one.
We need your help.
He's also like probably fighting it a little bit too, fighting the idea that Yako could be someone in his life, because it's just not something that he's used to at all. He doesn't know what that would mean, what that would be like. It would mean almost having some sort of responsibility or a burden of having someone counting on you and then you counting on them. That can be very burdensome sometimes, and he doesn't want to deal with that. So he's fighting it a bit, trying to not
Isn't
to
it
get
cool
too
to have a
close.
detective agency in a submarine?
Yeah, isn't it so cool?
If you ever have trouble here in Kanai Ward, just come on by. The other detectives and I will always have your back. In exchange, you better watch out for us, too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We will have your back, but we also want you to have our back. in that kind of transaction. Vivia's never had that before, so it's too burdensome to want to look out for someone's like, I don't really want to look out for you, so I don't want you to feel like you have to look out for me. I'm still just gonna be my own person on my own little island.
What a pain.
What a pain.
If you ever need something, let me know.
I want peace and quiet.
Huh?
I want to be left alone.
Just wants to be alone. Wants
There's
to
no
be
way
on
I
his
can
island.
do that. We're pals, aren't we?
But Yako's determined to break through that. And I think it's because Yako does succeed in breaking through Vivia's barriers and showing him what it can be like to sort of have each other's back. You can have my back in your own way, Vivia. We're not going to push you to do anything that you don't want to do, but we will have your back regardless. Just having that like unconditional support just shows Vivia what that can be like, and that kind of opens him up a bit more so that when Yuma comes around, he is more open to the idea of letting Yuma in. Yuma comes in and he's goes out of his way to talk to him, and he's a lot more recipient. He receives that a lot better than he does here when Yako tries to go out of his way to talk to him. Starts solitary, but eventually opens up a bit.
Vivia, you've barely eaten a thing since you came here.
And then we see more of a trend with where Vivia is just not eating, just does not take care of himself at all. And then sweet darling Yako taking notice of that, showing concern, being like, hey,
You're looking kind of emaciated.
you're not looking too
I'm
good,
eating
bud.
well enough.
And Vivia's just like, well, I'm living, I'm functioning, I'm eating enough where I can still read my book and do my own thing. I don't need you to show concern for me. I'm fine in my little bubble.
It's not for eating. That's for...
I am eating
Same
mentally.
thing.
Same thing. And I just want to take a moment to point out how often this Vivia sprite has been used in this short, really emphasizing how dark of a place he's in during this time. He hasn't given us a single Cheshire Cat smile. You know he's gotta be near rock bottom. So like, reading to him is the only thing sustaining him. It's sustaining him as much as food does in his eyes. Reading is what's keeping him going, just as food keeps a person going. But obviously, physically, that's not enough.
How could they be the same thing? Do you hate the food in this town or something?
It is made of humans.
The hotel restaurants offer lots of different choices. I'm sure you'll find something you can eat.
And I wonder if that's a thing, too, for Vivia. I imagine that he's just generally neglectful when it comes to food, but that also could be a part where he senses, I sense dead humans in these meat buns. I'm kind of put off by the food here. I'm just gonna keep reading.
All right, today's my treat. Let's go get dinner at a restaurant.
Why bother with all that trouble? I wish you'd leave me alone.
But yeah, we see it so much more clearly of Vivia pushing back against people before Raincoat, where he seems so much more down with Yuma and him coming into his life. So Yako really did a lot of work in breaking down his barriers and getting him to open up a bit and getting him just to want to live just a little bit more. And that's why chapter 4, all of that is becomes so much more meaningful with this, because we see now why he admired Yako so much and meant so much, because he did this for him. He changed him.
Can't do that. I may not look it, but I can be pretty persistent. You told me one thing, so now I have to do the opposite.
He
That's
does
just
it
how
in
I
such
am.
a great way, too. He's like, I'm doing this for me. You told me to do this, so no, I'm gonna do this because I want to, and you can't stop it. And then that kind of plays into Vivia's, like, I don't like conflict. I can't get in people's way. And so if Yako's gonna be this persistent about getting me to go out and eat, then I guess I just have to go along with it because I don't want to argue. That's even more troublesome than to just go along with this. And that's why Yako works so well in getting Vivia out of his tiny little shell.
That's what made me the detective I am today.
Man, Yako's so great. Just love this whole thing of like, without even knowing it, he's fighting against life for sake of finding what is comforting to him. And what he thinks is comforting to him is peace and quiet, and that peace and quiet will only come if he is alone and no one else can bother him. But that is not, we see that is not satisfying for him. It's making him impatient with life. He is not finding any desires for living, and so he's only left with a desire for it all to come to an end. But Yako, with his persistence, he's gonna get him out of it. He's gonna get him out of this rut.
At this rate, he'll be taken away. You're growing stronger. Each new one makes them more formidable. He will even take hold of the living. We've arrived.
And we're here.
They're coming.
So death awaits me here.
Don't go any further!
Maybe. So going back to, once again, where she says, but you're here to investigate what happened, not to die. And he says, I don't know about that. I guess when I came in here, I made a decision. And maybe that decision was, if they take me, then they take me. And if they don't, well, then I guess I'm just gonna keep on going. And he comes here in his spectral form to test that out. And he doesn't know for sure whether or not in the spectral form, if they can take him.
They aren't moving. It's almost as though they...
But does he say something like, just as I thought? And then we get the reveal. It's so, man, this is the best DLC chapter for me.
So.
I mean, of course, I'm super
all-
biased against Vivia, but it's so, I love how it's done.
Able to take away the living.
Yeah, he says, I thought so. They're only able to take the living. But maybe there was also that thought of, like, well, I don't mind if they take me, I guess.
Then you're also...
I'm the same as you all. I'm a ghost.
No way.
However, in my case, my body still lingers in this world.
What does that mean? Who are you?
It's just also fascinating that the ghosts themselves
I've already told you.
can't always distinguish between the living and the dead. I guess for this
I'm
case,
recorded.
Rio does say, like, the people that come here wishing to die, that their life force is kind of faint anyway, so she sensed that Vivia's life force was faint, but she just kind of figured it's because he wanted to die and not because he was actually physically a ghost.
Be detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side. I decided to come here in my ghost form to try talking to you.
So maybe that's what, okay, so I'm gonna run through this conversation again. You came here to investigate the murders here and not to die. I don't know about that. The moment I came into this elevator, I came to a decision, and that decision was to come here in my ghost form to talk to Rio. He wasn't here to die or to investigate the deaths. He only wanted to talk to Rio. That was his only goal. So maybe that's why he says, I don't know about your assumptions there, because I'm not here for any of that. That could make sense.
And thanks to that, I can't be dragged out of here.
Thanks to that, I can't be dragged out. So it's not like he came here wanting to get dragged out
I don't
or
quite
expecting
understand.
it.
But you sure are a mysterious person.
At the very least, he certainly was expecting that he couldn't be
wouldn't
dragged
mind
out.
walking away on my own, but I refuse to let someone take me away from here.
And that's another thing. I would love to have just a board of being like, the traits of Vivia, wanting to die. And then under this is another thing that we would put down as to why sometimes he wants to die, but then there's moments of like, well, you want to die, don't you? Why don't you want this? And like, this is a huge part of it. I don't mind walking away on my own, but I refuse to let someone take me away from here. He does not want to be killed. He does not want some tragic accident to suddenly happen to him. When he dies, he wants it to be on his own terms. He does not want it to just happen to him.
That is not the peace I desire.
It would not be peaceful. And that makes a lot of sense, because I imagine a huge thing of ghosts is that the reason that ghosts linger here is because of some sort of sudden tragic death that leaves them attached to the world, and so they cannot pass on peacefully. Vivia wants to pass on with peace, so he has to not have attachments. He has to leave on his own terms so that he can finally get the peace that he desires. But then not needing attachments, when Yako comes into the picture and they do form an attachment that gives Vivia another reason, like, okay, I'm not ready to die anytime soon. I'm kind of attached to Yako, and I know now that Yako would be upset if I were to die. So those are huge reasons for why Vivia kind of enters this town with no motivation, very little regard to his life, just kind of letting himself starve and stuff, not knowing what he wants to do, feeling so impatient with life and just ready for it to end. But then Yako comes in, he forms that attachment, and so now he can no longer die on his own terms, at least not anytime soon. That's kind of what I'm taking from a lot of this.
There's no need for you to be imprisoned here. I think your atonement has been fulfilled. Isn't it about time you sever your attachments here?
I want to remain behind. I need to ensure they don't take anyone else who comes here.
Even if it
Not
hasn't
everyone
been
is as strong as
working.
you are.
Strong.
I'm not strong at all. I've just grown used to death.
Grown used to death.
Also, will the
Underline.
elevator move again? Or is it stuck in the roof?
Yeah.
It's just
Until someone...
interesting. Vivia does not view himself as strong, which is very in line with a lot of things we see from him. He doesn't like pain, he doesn't like conflict, he has no idea how to get out of trouble, he only knows how to avoid it. He views himself as a very underwhelming person. He's like, don't expect anything from me, I'm just a dude. I am not strong. I just live as I do. I'm used to death. It's been around me all the time.
Yeah. Until someone pushes the button.
Vivia! Are you there?
That's Chief Yako.
Look at this man. Oh, I love him.
He's not here? Damn it. I'm at the wrong place. I thought he'd come here to investigate. I'm so exhausted.
And then Vivia can see just the
He took the
strength of his
stairs all the way to the
attachment.
roof to chase after the elevator.
Just seeing for himself how far Yako is willing to go just for him and to make sure that he is safe. To actually see this in action, Vivia can know that he's doing this without even expecting me to do anything. Maybe I can believe that he actually does care about me for me and not what I can do for him.
He must have been worried about you. I've watched over 10 people depart, but he's the first one I've seen come looking for the dead. You have a place you can return to. Perhaps that's the difference between us.
You have a place, Vivia.
Honestly, I don't care for all the noise. I'm rather envious of your world.
Where everything is muted and quiet and there's not ghosts pestering you. Just the ghost thing it's just always on my mind of like, wow, Vivia's just dealing with random things, yelling at him, saying who knows what. And it's just interesting that he's envious of his world, because I guess everything is muted and quiet here when he himself is a part of it, but when he's in the real world, he's not only dealing with all the noise and commotion of the living world, but also whatever the heck is going on around in the spiritual world. And it's just even more overstimulating than it would be to just be here in the spiritual world.
However, if you have a place to return home to, you should.
Home, huh?
Never had a place that felt like home, because the home I did have was kind of a trash fire. But I still look back on it fondly because of the innocence that is associated with childhood memories. And I don't want the reality and the truth of my home situation to destroy that innocence I felt. Don't mind me, just carrying on with all the little Vivia things.
I find myself hesitating. I don't know which path I should take.
I don't know which
Isn't
path
it
I should
obvious?
take. So yeah, at this point, he's just kind of in a limbo state. Again, being impatient with life. He wants it to end, but he is not sure if he's ready for that. He still has a few books to read. There's this Kanai Award place that could have something interesting. Let's go there to see what happens. And he's like, I'm still kind of impatient with life. I don't know if I'm here for that. But then Yako comes in, and Yako is so persistently trying to get to know Vivia and trying to get him to take care of himself, and trying to get him to become interested in anything outside of himself. And through that, he forms a connection that makes that decision of which path he should take, the path of the dead or a path of the living, it makes him finally lean more towards that path of the living. It's like, okay, I finally have something that's making me a bit more patient with life. I can take my life a bit more slowly now because I've got some things going on that I'm finally attached to.
Isn't it obvious?
Yako!
Hey, Vivia! Where did you go?
This is sweet, man.
Please, go back to him. I'm sure he's waiting for you to return.
And then that's another thing with Vivia's want to not cause trouble for people. Before, he probably saw himself as like, if I die now, that's not going to cause trouble for anyone because nobody cares. But now, if I die, it's going to trouble Yako. I don't want to cause trouble for Yako, so I guess I'll keep on living. Love them so much. Gosh, I just want more. I want more of them. Rain Code, while it was not a terribly strong game, like there's so many weak parts of it, but for all of its flaws, it's given me the biggest brain worms when it comes to Vivia. I mean, this is proof. I'm talking for hours on end about every little thing that Vivia is saying and his relationship with Yako and all that stuff. Like, it buzzes my brain. I don't know why, but it does.
Vivia! I was looking all over for
I'm
you.
so fond of them. And we see Vivia, and then this shows like Vivia's kind of disregard for himself, because he just lets his body pass out in an alleyway. We hear in chapter 4 how he's like, when you use your forte, your body is completely defenseless, so make sure you're in a good spot for it. And for this mission, he's like, psh, whatever, my body can just be out here in the rain in this alleyway while I go into this elevator. Like, maybe with the expectation that there's a chance my soul might not get back to my body. I don't know. But we'll just give it a try. I just want to talk to this girl. It's just interesting how we see sort of like the final signs of Vivia's disregard for himself. And like this here is probably the ultimate turning point of him caring for his life a bit more for the sake of his new attachment with
Look on your
Yako.
face when you left, so I had a hunch. What happened?
I got a bit lost.
and a bit lost perhaps with his direction in life. Do I really want to keep on living? Do I really want to die? I'm not too sure which. I'm kind of lost in what I want to do with myself.
Getting lost at your age? Then again, you didn't come to this city that long ago, so I guess that makes sense.
Because obviously, he didn't get directionally lost. He got to exactly where he wanted to be. He was talking with Rio in the elevator, got his goal done, so obviously it's a mental loss. But then we see Yako reaching out to him, and Vivia takes it. He takes the connection. He's officially formed that attachment. He's let it happen. This is so beautiful. Hooray! Too bad it will get severed.
Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. Let's go back to my awesome
The impact that Yako leaves on him is lasting, and Vivia will be okay. Go back to the awesome agency office. And then again, he takes the offering. He doesn't just let it go and be like, leave me alone, I'm fine, let me get rained on. He takes Yako's kindness, shielding himself from the rain, taking care of himself. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. He's finally accepting Yako trying to get close to him. And now he's officially formed that attachment that will keep him from dying anytime soon, or seeking death on his own terms anytime soon.
Waiting me upon my path. Like trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet. Even if I manage to overcome them, make it to the end of that path. When I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there. The shadows are a procession to my own funeral. To live means to continuously die. Every human is nothing but a walking corpse.
However...
And so, I too am dying in this moment. However, as long as I continue to travel this path, I may enjoy some peaceful scenery. Beyond the truth. Perhaps the peace I desire can be found there.
And Yako. And the peace and quiet that he's found in Yako, and he doesn't want to shatter in chapter 4, and it's just so damn sad. But there we have the ending of Vivia's DLC, where he comes to the conclusion that I'm a walking corpse, I'm gonna die someday, that is inevitable, but I might as well keep on walking this path as I slowly get to there, because I may enjoy some peaceful scenery. There may still be some things for me to enjoy in this life. Yako. Next time, we will be going through the main game and seeing what we can glean from Vivia throughout the main story, and using what we've learned in here and in his Gabs to explain away anything that's going on there. So hopefully you're interested in that. See you then. Bye.